Hey guys, it's Chris from eXp Educators, and we're glad you're here today. I'm very excited to speak with Leigh Turner. Um, Leigh comes to us with just a wealth of experience, and you're going to hear from her about how she loves to serve her clients and community. She is a joy to talk to. If you get the chance to have a cross transaction with her, consider yourself fortunate. And with that, I would like to introduce Leigh. And Leigh, tell us a little bit about your story and kind of how we got here.
Well, good morning, Chris. It's boy, it's been a long trek. It's kind of funny. I started my real estate career in 1988, so about about 33 years, going on almost 33 years.
Awesome.
So I've kind of seen the ups and downs of just about everything until you think you've seen it all, and then we have this market.
Yes. An exciting time.
I have not seen it all, apparently. But yeah, so I started back in the day with Century 21, worked there for a little bit. Then from there, I went to Remax, and was at Remax for about 20 years at Remax.
Oh yeah.
I took as far as a small little jog. I went to Tucker for about 3 or 4 years, and then I found eXp. So I guess I've not hit the whole gamut, but I think I've hit the high spots.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Because we started with Century 21 as well, and went to Remax. We migrated to Keller Williams, where you migrated to Tucker. And Tucker's a big independent here, and they do a fantastic job of training and so on and so forth. But then you got to see the difference. So,
and I love the global companies. I just love the networking. I love the opportunities. I do like eXp because it is global. It's one big happy family all around. I know I can go any state, any country, and find an eXp agent if I need to.
Yeah, it's awesome. So when we first started talking about the opportunity with eXp, what was it that just kind of piqued your curiosity and your interest?
Oh, there were so many things. The model, I love the model. Of course, we've just gone through the pandemic, so the Zoom meetings and the Google Meets and the whole virtual world really opened up for me. I was more of a hands-on, face-to-face, eyeballs to eyeballs person. And so being the old school person that I am, it's all about relationships, and relationships aren't as easy on video as they are in person. However, that made it impossible last year. So with the whole Zoom meetings opening up the virtual world, eXp was way ahead of that. I mean, they were already on board. They've been doing virtual for, from the eons of time. So that was appealing. So for me to make that transition was very easy. I love the autonomy. I don't need a mentor at this point in my career. It's always nice to have a go-to if you have a question. And I think that was what surprised me the most. The autonomy was a plus, but also if I needed help, or I needed a broker, or I needed an admin, they were right there. Nicole has been so responsive. John has been very responsive. You've always been, available with the text. And so, I always felt like I had the support when I needed it, but no one was hovering over me, breathing down my neck. There's no mandate. You've got to be here to do this. It allows me to be out there with my clients. It allows me to be available to service my, to be a servant to my buyers and my sellers without having to work around mandatory meetings. So that was a real nice plus.
Yeah, the time that's not wasted just driving to and from the office. You never think about it until you don't have to do it, and then you're like, oh, that's interesting.
Well, and the meeting in my home office is helpful, which is the basis of my paperwork station, I guess I should
Mm-hmm.
say.
Sure.
But the nice thing was, yes, you don't get, and I don't want to say stuck in an office, because I love other agents. I love the camaraderie. I love chatting. But after so many years, I have enough friends in the business. I can chat with someone if I need to. I don't need to be stuck in an office where I'm trying to get some work done and someone comes and, has a story to tell or something of their children graduating, which is not a bad thing, but sometimes it can be cumbersome.
Not when you're trying to get multiple offers in.
Not when I'm trying to work with a multiple offer situation, that is for sure. But
yes.
So I don't want to negate that, but at the same time, it is very nice to have that extra free time to, like I say, spend with chatting with my clients and my sellers and my buyers, and being out where I need to be out.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Awesome. Well, yeah, that's it's funny when the pandemic hit, I had somebody, probably a couple weeks in go, how's it affected you? And I said, it's just another Tuesday to me, I mean, because, the virtual world and the remote world, you work when you got to work and you get your work done. There's not a lot of side distractions, aside from a barking dog every once in a while. I don't get distracted very often, which is fantastic because it gives you just that much more free time to spend with family and friends and even clients where, sometimes you might have used to have to cut them off. Maybe now you can spend a little more time talking to them. So you alluded to some of the technology a little bit. And how has that worked for you? Because I know at first that was kind of an ominous cloud out there that you were like, I don't know.
It is, especially to us old school people, where you want to shake someone's hand and now you can't touch them. And but it was interesting because my grandchildren were showing me these games. And so for me to build an avatar was, I did that last week with my grandkids. So that was kind of fun. I feel like our virtual world is really, how do I want to say it? It's interesting. It's like playing a game, but where you build your avatar and your little avatar goes in and sits in on the meetings. So it's just funny to me because, like I say, just maybe a few weeks before, my grandchildren had me building an avatar for a game that they were playing on their little phones. So the challenge is not as much as I thought it was going to be. The technology is out there already. I just need to plug into it. So
sure.
that was not as daunting as I was initially thinking.
Yeah. If you try to take all of it in at the same time, it's a big wave. But if you take it out a cup at a time, you can actually drink it slowly. So tell us a little bit about just kind of, you told us a little bit about your career, but tell us a little bit about you and how you feel towards your clients and how this has been a benefit for both you and them.
Well, I never like to be a one and done person. I mean, talked about someone being maybe a bit more of a transactional person. Yes, the transaction is important, and it is very important to my clients. I mean, they're not just buying a house, they're not just investing their money, they're buying a home. Their home is where they live, and now even more so importantly. Their home is I always felt like a home was your basic foundation for where you go to work from, or where you have your family and you have your friends in. So a home is more than just a place to, sleep and fix dinner. So I've always kind of taken that very personally when people are looking for a home or selling a home. So selling on the sell side, selling your home, it gets pretty personal, especially through those inspections. Oh, yeah. I've always said that buying a home is emotional, but the inspections they're personal. Yeah. Trying
my house.
Yes, this was my house. I took good care of this, and why are you finding things wrong? And for the buyer as well, they walk into the home, they have to know that they want to come home here every day. This is where they're going to land every day. So finding that right place is I take that very, very seriously. You just say, okay, here's what your parameters were, and I found a place. Here it is. Why don't you like it? Well, it's emotional. It's emotional for them.
Sure.
So you have to say, okay, this didn't fit the bill. Let's move on to the next one, and be very, very patient, because people know what they want, but sometimes they don't know until they see it, because it is something that when they walk in, they're going to know. So it can be fun. It can be challenging. I love the challenge. I do love the challenge of it, because I think for me, it's so rewarding when they find the house they love and you make it happen for them, especially in this climate that we're seeing in the seller's market right now.
Yeah.
If we can find the house they love and I can make it happen for them, I feel rewarded. They're happy. I'm happy. As long as everybody's happy, I'm happy. And even for the seller, when you're navigating through multiple offers, and I know we haven't always had to do this, but recently we've had to do so much of it, that navigating through and saying, okay, how do we sift through what is most important to you, and let's make a chart.
Yeah.
And see where usually one offer is more head and shoulders above the others, and it becomes very obvious. Sometimes it's a little more some gray areas.
Agreed.
But helping them navigate through all the different nuances of an 8-page contract is, and again, for me, it's to help them. It should be a win-win for everyone.
Agreed. And that's where a true pro like yourself, and having that experience of knowing what contracts might be good and what might be a little on the, maybe say, fictitious side. And
problem areas down the road, trying to foresee the problem areas down the road.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the beauty of working with a pro like yourself. And that's what brings the joy to the transaction. And that's why what I said in the beginning, if you get the chance to work with you, it's just awesome. Well, you've shared quite a bit here from your experience and kind of what it means to you and your clients, and the things that drew you to eXp. Since you've gotten here, anything that really kind of surprised you a little bit? That you kind of, when you went in thinking this, and now you're like, oh, that wasn't quite what I expected. It's much better, or it's much anything like that.
I think we talked about the technology being not as daunting as I was a little more concerned about in the beginning. The pandemic did help set me up for that a little bit, but as far as the virtual world, but at the same time, I think it's not, because the support, the support that I was, again, you don't go into an office and see a secretary and say, hand her your computer and say, fix this. It's a little more obviously virtual, but the response is very good. So that wasn't as big of a hurdle as I thought it was going to be. The other surprise, I guess, was I don't miss the office. I've always been an office, have to have an office go-to person. I don't miss that. I have found more free time to be either with clients or, just actually having to have my husband know who I am was kind of nice. Instead of coming and going. So that was even though I knew it wasn't a real office, and yet we have the office spaces if we actually need them. I've actually not even found the reason to need them yet, because you do meet people where they are.
Sure.
You meet clients where they live. You meet people out, where life is happening. And life doesn't happen in a real estate office. And I think the other fun part for me was it did give me more opportunities to be more involved in some of the realtor functions or charity functions. Being able to be more available to help out in some of my my heart places.
Awesome.
And then as far as other realtors go, if you want, some camaraderie, I think people should have two kinds of friends. Some are realtors, know the business, and then some are not realtors, so you don't continue talking about real estate all the time. Because you can do that with realtors all the time. But it gave me opportunity to be more networking with other realtors from other companies, because I was more involved in MIBOR or Women's Council of Realtors, or things that I've always wanted to do but never had the time to do.
Fantastic.
So I've been able to do more of those social events, more of those meetings, even though those are virtual as well. It's allowed me to be more networking instead of just in my own little cocoon of office agents. So that was a surprise, and that was a very pleasant surprise, because after 33 years, I've got a lot of friends in the business, and I always feel like as we network with each other, it does make transactions go smoother. I don't think you should ever be at odds with another agent. We're all trying to accomplish the same thing. We all want to get those buyers and sellers to the closing table happy.
Yes.
I like a happy closing where everyone's excited. The sellers are excited about the buyers are excited about the seller's home that they're leaving, that they've invested their life into. So, and I think the agents set the tone for that. And
totally.
As we can all get along together and be professional and be kind, then I think, that helps. And being out and being available to do those networking events was a big plus for me.
Oh, cool. I had one of the very first meetings I sat in at Century 21. An elder statesman in the room said that, buyers and sellers would do great if realtors would just get out of the way. And, that's probably pretty accurate sometimes, that not everybody's like, hey, we're working towards a common goal here. It's to get, let's bridge the gaps. Let's find some common ground, and let's get these, the buyers want to buy the house and the seller wants to sell,
We're supposed to be making it easier for them.
It doesn't need to be a battle.
Exactly.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Well, I know you're super busy. I want to thank you for your time, and I really appreciate it. Any closing thoughts you have before we get going here?
Oh, I cannot think of a thing.
Cool.
I'm not the most morning person. I'm not a guy. Not quite, firing on all cylinders, maybe 99% of them. But I can't think of a thing, Chris. I think we've touched on a lot of different things. I don't know of anything that I've said, unless you have another question.
No, you know what? I know you're busy. That's why we had to get to you early in the morning. We want to thank you for your time. Again, guys, feel free to drop some comments below. Peruse the channel and let us know your thoughts. Leigh, I want to thank you again for your time. Again, if you get the chance to work with Leigh, she's just the realtor's realtor. She's a pro, and you will not be sorry. Thanks again, guys. Go have an awesome day, and we'll talk to you real soon.
Thank you, Chris.
You're welcome. Now, a little disclaimer. Number 1, signing up at the link below will not cause your broker to be contacted. Number 2, it will not trigger your license to be moved. And number 3, there are a lot of disclosures in the info you will receive, but this is because eXp Realty grants its agents free stock and revenue share. As my attorney friend likes to say, the more money involved, the more words that are needed to say it. If you have any questions or are ready to join eXp Realty today, feel free to reach out to me at the email address below, and we will be happy to answer your questions and walk you through the process to join. Thanks again for checking out our channel. And as we like to say, if you knew what eXp Realty could do for you, you'd already be here.